Hey everybody, welcome to the field day here for Kola Seed. We have 3 new crosses coming out here this year in 2021, and we also have some Czech varieties that we could look at that were commercially produced last year as a great comparison to look at both and see how the breeding of autoflower and day-neutral genetics is improving here. We have the Czech variety Pipeline, and I'll give you guys a little bit of background on this. It came out last year and basically grown under several different names, but a very common variety. I think thousands of acres of this have been planted since hemp became legal here in the US. It's one of the most common autoflowers out there. We basically used it as a Czech because this is what most people are used to when they see autoflower, and the goal here is to show how selective breeding can improve the process, improve the genetics over time, and how much of a difference 1 year of true breeding makes in terms of bud quality and overall vigor. So this row that we're standing in here is the Pipeline row, and this is considered a Czech row. So we're going to compare every other cross that we've done to this row and basically compare bud size, height, vigor, and some general notes that we took as we were growing all these out and giving you guys an idea of what's going on. Everything was planted a foot apart, about 13,000 plants an acre, and about 65 days to finish here. And we're looking at about 7% CBD and 0.3 THC, right around that 60-day mark, 65-day mark. And also, this is highly dependent on where you grow it and when you grow it. And I think that's one of the big reasons that day-neutral genetics had gotten such a bad rap over the past few years, is because most of the time they're grown out of slot and haven't been trialed to identify which locations are actually ideal for its adaptability. So if you look here, we have roughly like a waist-high plant. This is an exception here. Most plants are under waist-high, right about thigh-high. And you can tell that the top cola on a lot of these is a lot smaller, and the reason being for the shorter plant and for the smaller bud is primarily being grown out of slot. So this whole field was planted late in the season, and that's partly one of the reasons why we're seeing the shorter plants. If you're all day neutral, crops perform much better in the springtime. So here's Rincon. This will be certified seed here in 2021 by AOSCA. And in order to get the seed certified by AOSCA, you need detailed breeder notes and adaptability history for a couple years, multiple locations. Pretty impressive in terms of how much the density and mass increased in each flower. So you can tell here there's some solidity to this. You can't see through the bud. The buds are much more round and compact, and you're getting them from plant to plant. Also, the terpene profile is much more desirable, which we were shooting for. And just an overall great plant. We have some other chunky phenotypes here that we could show you. The crop height, you can tell, just varies maybe by 1 or 2 inches, but everything finishes at the same time. Really rapid finisher. We probably saw 65 days on this one, so very, very quick, if not 60. We just wanted to show what we had before we released it into the public, and also sample data on all these. So this is another test where we, as a company, verify that all the genetics and all the lots that we're selling from have adequate cannabinoid profiles and adequate terpene profiles to release to market. So when we were actually providing something to folks that, it is what we say it is. Here we have our second cross that we're going to be looking at today, Sour Citron. You can tell here, much more stacked than either of the Czechs. And when I say stacked, I mean in terms of how many buds there are on this plant and how close they are together. They're not as separate. You don't see as much stem or leaf here. And I'm sure if we were to do a harvest index of these plants, it would be at a much higher rate than the Czechs. We're looking for anything 70-30 to 80-20 on day neutral plants. So if it falls within those ranges, that's what we're going for. We're not growing this stuff for the stem or the fiber or for seed. We're growing it for these buds here and for the flowers. So the more of them we can get in the field, the more we can focus our energy on the growth of the desired product, the less nutrients we're wasting, the less land we waste, the less labor we waste, and just a much more efficient program overall. Everyone, you're now in the presence of Dr. Chunk. Take a look. We have this purple phenotype, very chunky, very connected, stout. This here is the green phenotype, very dense, very hard, gassy, pungent aroma on this one. My fingers are getting too I can't do this for much longer. My fingers are too oily, too greasy. Look at that. Same thing again, and you can tell there's just these distinct differences here. There's the purple phenotype and the three greens. We have another purple one here. All desirable though. It's been exciting to spend the day with you all, and hope you enjoyed watching the breeding evolution here as things progress. We're looking forward to stabilizing more genetics from seed and giving everybody a little bit more security as they go into their next farming year. Hope you all have a good one. Don't go away so soon. You got to stay tuned. We got more coming. These are our photo period sensitive genetics. They're going to be worth taking a look at. We have this variety here. You can see how the crop height is on its way to being fixed. On this one, a little more so than this one, but nonetheless, the finishing times are right there. You're going to be able to harvest everything right at the same time, and all the buds are going to be able to go in the same bag. See you guys later.